Kerry mountains. I met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced me pistol and I then produced me rapier, saying stand and deliver, for you are a bold deceiver, mushering da-da-doo-da-da. Whack fall the daddy-o, whack fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar.
Hey guys, and welcome to week 3. Dollar Bill here to give you some more fantasy football Acosta League analysis. Going to get right into my dialogue for this week about some of the topics I'd like to talk on. The biggest thing that I've read in all articles this week on fantasy is everyone is panicking. Panic is the word. Everyone's freaking out. Their players aren't doing well. Is it sell time now? You know, get rid of all the great players that you thought were going to make your team on draft day. Everybody needs to just take a deep breath, calm down. It's going to be okay. Stick to your instincts. That is the key thing I can tell you guys. Stick to your instincts. Believe in what on draft day you believed in. Just to kind of give you some things. Matthew Berry, I will tell you, go check out his Week 3 Love-Hate. It's a good article. You read into it, he blah blah blahs about how he was a great tennis player as a teenager. Not because he was talented, but because he was patient and could always drive players nuts and frustrate them. And, you know, whatever that has to do with anything. But he provides that, you know, stay the course, believe in what you picked, and he provides a breakdown from ESPN's Stat Guys that shows you last season, first 2 weeks, what players did and where they finished by the end of the season. And just to give you a quick idea, check it out for yourself, but Tom Brady, after week 2, was tied for 29th best quarterback, and he finished 8th overall. Big Ben Roethlisberger, 24th, finished 5th overall. Jamal Charles was 77th after week 2 in running backs. Came all the way back to finish in the top 7 as running backs. Odell Beckham didn't even play for a better part of the season. Came in at 107 and then finished 5th overall for wide receivers. Kobe Fleener in the tight end area, 36th, finished 6th. Jason Witten, 31st, finished 10th. T.Y. Hilton, 42nd to finish 10th overall. So just a few players that, you know, they were great. They got drafted high. And, you know, people, you know, freaked out and sold early and paid the penalty. Also, Field Yates, he writes an article earlier on this week that shows how Tom Brady was given up on early after 2 weeks, which I think we know about. Walt, you dropped him. He took off to Chuck's advantage. And so I'll put that picture up so you can read it. But just to give you guys, you know, that oomph that you need. Don't freak out. The guys that you drafted early, keep the faith in. Unless they have some kind of devastating injury, stay the course and believe that they'll turn it around. And we'll get into some more here in just a second, but let me show you that picture of the article from Field Yates. Okay, guys, so there's a little reading for you. I hope it helps. Maybe gives you that deep breath, sigh of relief that you need. But again, just don't panic. So I also told Blair that I would bring out a mention that he wanted me to hit on this week. If any of you guys watch the TV show on FXX, The League, they have an award for the team that finishes last in their fantasy football season. It's called the Sacco. Blair has said that he would love it if our league created something similar to that. Don't know if it's fair to, do for this season because a few teams are already 0-2 versus teams that are 2-0. But food for thought. Let's talk it out. Maybe we can at least agree to it for next season. I think their trophy is a trophy with a Balzac on it, and the loser has to do some punishments. But we can do it any which way anybody wants, or we can not do it at all if anybody doesn't want to. DF, I think, is a prime candidate between him and Walt for the Sacco, whatever we would call it. But there you go. That's what Blair's asking for. So talk it out in a group chat. See if we should punish the last place team in our league. All right. Let me get into the background of week 2. I'm going to post right about here or there what I had for last week. Didn't quite pan out the way I did. Chuck and Blair, I said it was going to be an ugly, low-scoring game. That one I was, dead on with. But finished 3-2 in my predictions. I'll show the actual scores, too, on this side or there. And so 3-2 on the week. But, we'll see how this week goes. And without further ado, let's get into week 3's games. Alrighty, here we go. First up, it's me versus Walt. I'm off to a solid start at 2-0. Walt 0-2. I, don't understand it. He drafted good. He made the right correction. I wouldn't have gone any different than Jamal Charles. So, I think keep the faith, Walt, and I think your team will, at the end of the season, provide a pretty good record for you. I think for myself, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, as long as Julio's hamstring can hold up, he should have a solid week against Dallas. I think they're a little bit more potent offense, a little bit more organized and gelled together than the Eagles, and I think they'll show it against Dallas this week. TJ Yeldon. Think he's going to at least have a good game. Don't know if the Jags will against the Pats, but D'Angelo Williams had a good run game against the Patriots. I think TJ Yeldon can do the same. Matt Forte going against Seattle, and he's hurt. I don't really like his matchup there. I'm deep shit there. But Jordan Reed, I think, has a good matchup tonight against the Giants. Dion Lewis, I think, should be able to play pretty well against the Jaguars D. I like the Cardinals to give Colin Kaepernick and the Niners some problems. I don't know. If Drew Brees plays, I think Brandon Cooks can help me, but I don't know how that one's going to pan out. On Walt's side, I love Jamal Charles. I think he'll have a good game against the Packers. I love Amir Abdullah going against Denver. I think he'll show some real talent there. Alshon Jeffrey, I'm not big on. A.J. Green against what hasn't played well so far, but still has the talent to play well, Baltimore Ravens. Not really sold on that one. I think Eric Ebron will do good for Walt. This is going to be close. The Rams are a better defense than they played last week, so I think they'll give the Steelers a tough game. And then Amari Cooper could be the difference maker in this game. I'm not sure if he will have another stud game or not. But I'm going to give myself the victory here, 133 to 128 over Walt. Dollar Bill wins 133 to Walt's 128. Next up, the battle of the 2-0s. Conway versus Jordan. And they both have great quarterback matchups. Wilson against the Bears for Conway. Brady versus the Jags for Jordan. I think they'll both play well. DeMarco Murray and Carlos Hyde going against the Cards, even if he plays. Don't like that situation for Conway. Although Jordan's matchup isn't that great either. as he has Latavius Murray against a pretty stout Cleveland run D, and then not sure on the health issues of Chris Ivory, and will he play against the Eagles. Antonio Brown's a great play for Jordan. I think Travis Kelce's a solid play for Jordan. I think Michael Crabtree, if you put him in over Jonathan Stewart, that's the move you need to make, Jordan. That'll definitely be a helper for you. And Emmanuel Sanders, I think, is a solid play. Now, for Conway, Larry Fitzgerald, big week I think he's going to have. Gronk, I think he'll have a big week. Danny Woodhead, solid play. Seattle Seahawks D against the Bears, solid play. I mean, to me, it looks like a great matchup for Conway to try and take down the two-time defending champ Jordan. And I'm going to give Johnny Conway to win here, 147 to 144. Tight battle between these 2-0s. Johnny Conway, 147, 144 over Jordan. Now, let's move on to the opposite side of the spectrum, the 0-2s. Mike Mullen, John Michael versus Blackout Blair. Both quarterbacks here, tough defensive matchups. I think Ben Roethlisberger has the edge between the two, so, good luck with that one. Mullen, Michael. AP, definitely better play than, I think, LaShawn McCoy and Eddie Lacy. DeAndre Hopkins' health is a concern here. I think Calvin Johnson will be a solid play for them. The double tight ends. Here we go again. You guys just don't want to listen to me. Double tight ends. I think you're lucky that you're playing Blackout Blair and that his team is just really disgusting to me and not talented. Otherwise, I would not want to give you the win against anybody. Two tight ends, I hate it, and I hate it, and I hate it. You got a good matchup with the Panthers D against New Orleans, banged up. On Blair's side, T.Y. Hilton, I think he'll have a solid play against Tennessee. Martellus Bennett and Landry, I don't think they're going to play well at all. I think Mike Evans should, as long as he's healthy, get back into a better play for Tampa Bay. I think Gio Bernard's a bad play, so maybe try to see if you can't get him out of your lineup. I would say get Bishop Sankey and Doug Baldwin in your lineup, and I think that could help you. I don't know if it'll help you enough, but it'll help you. Pats D, you got a good matchup there. This game really is disgusting. I don't know why I keep getting these two low-scoring games each week, but I'm going to give Mullen and John Michael to win here, 122 to 115 over Blair. Don't show up to a draft all fucked up, because this is what happens. So, now we will move on to J and DF. Good matchup here. Like these two guys. They draft well. They battle it out. Jay's team, I think Andrew Luck bounces back this week against the Titans. Solid play here. Running backs. Both tough defenses. Alfred Morris, I don't know if he's going to lose carries to Matt Jones. C.J. Spiller going against Carolina. Don't like the running back matchups for you, Jay. Sorry. Demaryius Thomas, I think he'll be a stud. Edelman continues to roll, I think, for you. Travis Benjamin. He's got no Johnny Manziel, so I don't know what his play potential will be this week. Texans D, I like that one. I think they'll be big. For DF, you got Peyton Manning coming back a little bit better each week. I think he'll be okay. Marshawn Lynch, I think he'll be fine, and against the Bears, he should run all over them. Jeremy Hill, I think he bounces back with a big week. Golden Tate, don't know if he's got enough in him against the Denver pass D. Pretty good pass D there. Bills, I think they'll do well against Miami's offense. DF, I would say try Darren Sproles. I think that he's going to be a star player for the Eagles' offense this week against the Jets. Jay 2-1 on the schedule. DF 0-3. I think Jay will be 2-1 only because the schedule has allowed him to be, not because his team is actually that good. DF, I think he's going to hit 0-3 this week, and I have concerns about his team going down the road. Also for Jay, I want to mention I think put Todd Gurley in over Eric Decker. Last minute help there. So I'm going to give Jay to win here, 127 to 118 over DF. And give me 1 second, and we will be back with the game of the week, Mike Marola versus our commish, Chuck Thompson. Here we go, matchup of the week, week 3. It's Mike Marola and his Colts-like feeling of being cheated in Waivergate versus our commish, Chuck Goodell Thompson. So in this matchup for Marola's team, I like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to be an okay play against a good Chiefs D that doesn't really get its credit. Le'Veon Bell, I think he'll be good, but you never know if he comes out rusty. I think he'll be okay, not Le'Veon Bell level yet. Melvin Gordon, I think he's a solid play against the Vikings, I believe. Randall Cobb, I think he's going to match up well against the Chiefs, get a lot of short catches for whatever kind of yardage he can get, but catches are points, so that's big. Brandon Marshall against the Eagles D, I think, is big for Mike. The Gilmore, the tight end from Baltimore, I think he is building his potential, so he'll be a solid play this week. Steve Smith, don't think he's going to have quite the game he had last week, but I think he'll be an okay play this week. Jeremy Maclin against the Packers, I think he can do something. Don't know if he'll be a stud or not. For Chucky, don't trust Cam Newton. Not sure what he'll be doing, but I don't think it'll be great. C.J. Anderson, I think he looks to bounce back this week, so he'll be a great play. Mark Ingram, not so much. Odell Beckham, think he'll be a big play tonight against a suspect Redskins defense. Michael Floyd, not really sure what his role is in the Cardinals offense yet, so we'll see how that one pans out. Could be good, could be bad. We'll see. We'll watch it. Jimmy Graham, look for him to get more involved this week. I think Pete Carroll wants to get him involved, so I think he'll have a big game this week. Dante Moncrief's a solid play. I think the Browns D against Oakland's a solid play. And this is going to be a tight one. But I will give Waivergate its victory, and I'm going to give Mike Marola a 139 to 135 win over Chuck. Marola 139, Chuck 135. And that's going to do it for week 3. And I hope you guys liked it and listened. And I'll be back in week 4 with some more. Enjoy, fellas.